She is doing her first icebreaker, and she would limit the term limits of our Congress as President of the United States. Now, the title of her speech is "Do You See Me?" and the answer for me is, sorry, no.
Well played, well played.
But Catherine Oyla, do you see me? Catherine Oyla.
Thank you. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members and guests, do you see me?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever been unseen? Do you see me? That's a question I ask myself every time I enter a room or engage in a conversation with someone. And I'll answer the question here for you today. No, you don't. Just as I walked in here for my very first Toastmaster experience, I, like most of you, were judged. This could be good or this could be bad. Perhaps the color of my skin or my age. Maybe I intimidated some or came off slightly passive to others. But in this moment right here, I'm going to allow you to see me. I am a war child, born in Monrovia, Liberia, West Africa, and raised in the neighboring country of Sierra Leone. I am a refugee of Sierra Leone. Perhaps some of you have seen the movie Blood Diamonds that came out in 2006 with Djimon Hounsou and Leonardo DiCaprio. That was the third civil war that my family and I fled. I was 8 and my sister was 9. At the beginning of the war, my dad was out of the country. He was in Seattle, Washington on a conference, but my mom was so excited because she had heard on the news that the UN were evacuating American citizens. My sister was born in Jackson, Mississippi, as my dad attended seminary, so she was hopeful that we were all going to be evacuated together. As we approached the border, the UN officials told us, for every one American, only one Sierra Leonean. I died that day as my mother made the ultimate sacrifice to send my sister and I, and for her to stay behind in this war-torn country. My sister and I, 8 or 9, made the journey from Guinea to Paris, where I was locked in jail for 2 days by myself, and to Seattle, Washington. As we got off the plane, news reporters reached to talk to us. There were camera crews everywhere, but I was devastated as I found out that my dad had left that very morning to go back and get us. I'll elaborate on the rest of my story in following speeches, but some call it fate. I call it God. We were reunited in Washington State 4 months later with both our parents. Now, Washington State is not the best place with its cold weather for a West African. After all, they're not Bronco fans, right? So we settled in the Sunshine State of Florida and made our home in Orlando. There, my sister and I played on a travel soccer team. I play the violin and she plays the piano. I danced with the Orlando Ballet. Our lives were great. But you see, college for my sister and I wasn't an option, but yet an opportunity to thank my parents for the sacrifice that they made for us. But if someone would have told me that I actually had to pass my college classes and not party too much, maybe I would have changed the way I was going to thank my parents. College was hard, but I persevered. My senior year of college, I was asked to be the keynote speaker at the President's Donor Award for the University of Central Florida. My speech that year raised $3.5 million for our school. I remember as I left the stage that night that I didn't fear public speaking. I was drawn to the intricate art that it was. I mean, the ability for myself or any of you to stand on stage and command the attention of the room with just one word. There's something magical and empowering about that. I got engaged a week before I graduated college. We then moved to Colorado as my husband was finishing his MBA at CU Boulder. He now works as commercial real estate in the wholesale market with Wells Fargo. We love our lives here. We're opposites of each other. He enjoys camping and hunting. I enjoy dancing with the Colorado Ballet. We're day and night, black and white. No, really, I'm black, he's white. I remember when my husband asked me, let me get you a new car. I said, no. My little Nissan Sentra, no, it's not the Porsche. The blue one, '06, sitting out there. It reminds me of my humble beginnings. To stay grounded. He can ask me next year for a new car. But this is not where my story ends. Matter of fact, this is why I joined Toastmasters. I want to perfect a craft that I love so much and work on the delivery of my speech so that I will be able to empower people just as myself who've been through worse things and say, we are not what happened to us. We are what we step into to become. So I'll ask you again, do you see me? Have you made a choice to see me? Have you allowed others to see you? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members and guests, thank you.
Catherine, I do see you.